Welcome to our morning weekend segment, Express Yourself. We got a lot of comments on one of our videos, and you all have been expressing yourself. First off, I want to give a shout out to my friend, my Buddhist sibling, Luke. Thank you for my Buddhist inspired bookmarks. I really appreciate these bookmarks. So I'll change them every day, have like a different aspiration every day. So thank you, Luke, for my bookmarks. And again, I am Sharon, your cultural critic and political critic, and I'm joined this morning with Miss Kenniss. Hello, Miss Kenniss, to express yourself.
Peace and blessings.
Okay, so so we're going to start off with, we're going to introduce our haters in the comment section of the Al Green video I did. It sat at 10 views, like for a couple of days. And all of a sudden, all this activity was going on in the comment section. So we're going to give you guys a shout out because you guys boosted the video and it's over a few thousand views now. So we're still, let me see. I'm going to play this for you.
Ever recorded a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Speaking of decorum, what are your thoughts on that, Ms. Kenniss?
So I do agree that there is a process. There is a process, there are procedures, there are protocols, and decorum is definitely something that should be observed. But it should be observed all the time. And anyone who sits and watches any of the hearings, the discussions that take place, especially in the House, know that that does not happen all the time. You know, you have a congresswoman who is inviting her peer out into the street to fight. That is most despicable. Or you have someone who's talking about somebody's appearance. Take those little fake eyelashes off. Despicable. So if we're going to observe this decorum, it has to be all the time, not just, some of the time, or when it looks as if somebody is disrespecting 47, someone who is a felon with 37 felon counts against him. How do you have respect for somebody like that? And to Congressman Al Green, I give him 5 thumbs up. That means I have to thumb up 2.5 more times. His message was about those folk who receive SNAP benefits, those folk who are on Medicaid, those folks who are on SSI. So let me just tell you, the Speaker of the House, who is from Louisiana, his annual salary is $223,000 a year. I have people that I do a lot of work for. Their monthly SNAP is $23 a month, not $223,000. They're elderly. They worked in the cane fields and the orchards. When I first started working with them, their SSI was $268 a month. It is now near $500. It is now near $500 a month, not $223,000 a year. I applaud Congressman Al Green. More people should be doing the same thing instead of sitting and being real quiet and not saying anything, or crossing the aisle and standing with the Republicans to say, yes, he should be censored. He knows he should be censored. He probably would have stood up and said, yo, let me just do it myself. I need to be censored. I was out of order. And this whole thing about it being a comedy show or satire, I tell you what, those of you who think it should be a comedy show or satire, I challenge you to live on $23 a month for a year. I dare you to live on $23 a month for a year. I dare you to live on $275 a month for a year, and then come back and tell me that he was out of order. That's all I got to say. Peace and blessings.
And speaking of calling out representatives, that I want to play this clip, and then we'll get your reaction on the other side.
To touch on something, because I know that many of you prepared for today's hearing by making sure that you got a little bit of information about immigrants and crime in your cities. Let me ask each of the mayors, just yes or no. Have any of you been made aware of any immigrant that has had 34 felony convictions that has still been able to roam around in your cities? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
34 felony convictions
No,
from
Congresswoman.
the immigrants. Anybody?
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just curious because we are so concerned about crime. And I know that my Republican colleagues would never want anybody with 34 felony convictions roaming around, because that could be a danger to the community. But I will move on.
So first of all, before you ask your question, I said 37 because he has 34 on the books, and I think there are about 3 or 4 that he's been working and manipulating the system so that they do not, they're not brought up against him. I'm confident if they were, he'd be convicted on them also. So I stand with my 37.
Okay. But it reminded me of that video where you were saying calling out and being consistent, and they were flustered. They couldn't even answer. They were just like, wait a minute. They were all looking through their papers. No,
They were flustered and couldn't answer. They were flustered and couldn't answer because a strong Black female standing on her own 2 feet, speaking truth to power and power to truth. And that's why they couldn't answer. How dare this woman, be so knowledgeable, be so powerful, and be so, air quote, bodacious as to even put this out there for us. Power to her too. 5 thumbs up for her too.
Yes, let's get the wait a minute. Let me get it here. Where is it? I don't have it in order. I was trying to find the
clap.
The clap. Yeah.
For her.
There we go. Here. This is for Jasmine Crockett and Al
Green. and sisters should have I take nothing from Madam Vice President who ran for president. Hope she doesn't run again. She should be a campaign manager for Jasmine Crockett. I think Jasmine Crockett is ready to run for that office. And in another couple of years, she'll be 46, 47. She'll be right to be president of these here United States.
Now, what about Speaker of the House? Do you think Jasmine? I think she would be a good Speaker of the House, like a leader in place of Hakeem.
The problem with being Speaker of the House, first of all, you got to have the majority party. So if she does not, if the Republicans keep the majority midterm, she can't be Speaker of the House. She could be minority instead of Hakeem Jeffries, but that doesn't give her the opportunity to begin to turn this mess around. And then the same thing in in 2 more years after that. So if we want her to be Speaker of the House, we have to figure out how we're going to, gotta say this, Brother Hakeem, reduce Brother Hakeem Jeffries to a role other than his desire. It has always been known that he has desired to be the Speaker of the House. And I don't think he's going to go down without a fight on becoming the Speaker of the House. I just don't. So the only other thing I can think of is we put her up against Ted Cruz and let her become Senator Crockett.
Well, he's well funded through AIPAC, so that would be a battle because they're gonna try to keep their.
Well, both of them. Hakeem is well funded through AIPAC. He's well funded to the tune of about $1.5 million.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's very well funded through AIPAC.
And AIPAC will invest another $2-3 million to keep him in that seat. So here's a thought. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Black Jesus, help a sister out. So here's a thought. Do we as Black people want to leave him where he is and hope that he gets to be Speaker of the House because we know that's what he desires? Or do we just want to go ahead and say, hey, maybe this isn't for you. You maybe you don't have the heart to stand up and fight back. And then we as a people push to say, this is the person we want to be Speaker of the House. Now, having said that, people have the elected officials have to vote and say that's who they want in that seat. And that's what happened with Johnson. He was afraid he would not win the vote. So you have to, do a lot of smoothing to make sure you have the votes, count your votes. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because $2 million, $3 million to keep him in that seat. Jasmine Crockett does not have that kind of money, campaign money, to run a campaign to even stay in the seat she's in. So if the people in Texas say, hey, we can't afford you, we're going to do damage control, and and the AIPAC people are going to put somebody up against her to run in the midterms, and they spend a few $1 million. Look at Jamal Bowman. They spent $10 million to get him out of his seat. Mm-hmm. Look at Cori Bush, another seriously well-deserving, strong Black woman who went to Congress and she spoke her mind. Mm-hmm. She represented the people the way she was supposed to. What did AIPAC do? They put up another $10 million. They told her, you will not come back because we will make sure you don't come back. So, I gotta say this, until we put up the money and have a super PAC of our own, we're just sitting on the sideline crying tears. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. But if we're willing to do it, then we all have to just say, there are 48 million of us in the diaspora. Why can't each one of us put up $10? And those who want to put up more, you put up more. We got some Oprahs. She got billions. We got some other, folk. What's his name? Robert Johnson. We got some Black people who have some money. Put up some money so we can have a Black super PAC, and then we can go toe to toe with such organizations as AIPAC.
Tyler Perry. Then he has an island. He has his own island.
It's his own island. I tell you another one who always be out there once a year with his other rich friends, Magic Johnson. Mm-hmm. And he always carries, what's that other man, Sam Jackson. So yeah, we got some people out here who can put up the money to make up the difference between what the little people put up. Little people, when Barack Obama ran, they were sized because they considered that they had done their part to support Barack Obama's campaign. When you asked them, how much did you give? $5. But they were excited because they were a part of the process. They gave $5. You know, these are people on fixed incomes, but they found $5. So
Right.
I'm saying we can all find $10 and start to stand up our own super PAC.
And we'd like to hear from you all. This is like a new segment, like a weekend segment of Express Yourself. So it's kind of the end of the week. How are you feeling from the end of the week? Some people didn't get to watch the news. Some people don't know what's going on in the news. You might have had a hard day at work and you still want to express yourself. So call in to our show, DM us. Use the hashtag Express Yourself, kind of like espresso coffee, but Express Yourself. Use that hashtag. And I wanted to close out kind of good news, but it's good news, bad news. It's like good news for a few seconds, and then bad news overall.
Before you give the good news, before you give the good news, pursuant to the TikTok that you played with the young black sister.
Oh yes.
And the white supremacy, her take on white supremacy. I want to offer up in support of what she's saying about the white supremacy. It's a it's an amazing book written by Donald Spivey, Spivey, Fire from the Soul. Donald Spivey talks about right after the Civil War. And he speaks about, in Alabama, the conservatives set aside days for fasting and praying. They often lamented a very common racist prayer: Almighty God, deliver us from the state of these here niggars, Negars, and the horrors of their domination. As far as the white South was concerned, the Civil War was still being fought, and the enemy to be vanquished was the black race. The white South committed itself in thought and action to rendering the South either a white man's government or converting it to the land of the Negro man's cemetery. I rest my... I'm just saying, this goes hand in hand with what the little sister said about white supremacy.
And speaking of that, I'll go ahead and play that video so our listeners can have context. And what you just read, I'm going to play that video of what she said.
Single largest 1 month gain ever recorded.
Oh, that's it.
You know, the people who voted for Donald Trump are far too stupid to realize what they've done.
Guys, we need to retire this narrative, okay? MAGA Republicans are not stupid. They didn't vote for the orange madness because they're stupid, okay? Or uninformed, which is another narrative that keeps getting passed around. They're not voting against their interests because they're just too dumb and they're just uninformed. Their interest is, say it with me, white supremacy. MAGA supporters, Trump supporters, their interest is maintaining the system of white supremacy. White supremacy is their number one top issue. Sure, they care about the economy. Sure, they care about gay marriage. Sure, they care about all of trans people. All that stuff they care about. But the most important, the number one top thing on their list is maintaining the system of white supremacy, especially the people who are at the bottom of the hierarchy when it comes to white supremacy. They have the strongest, most vested interest in upholding white supremacy, because if they can't survive, if they can't thrive and do well in a system that is literally handing it to them on a silver platter, then they know that they will be crushed if they remove that system. White supremacists, white delusionists, as people have been saying, their number one fear is not black people. It's not POC. Their number one fear is competition. because they know they can't compete. They were born with the proverbial silver spoon of white supremacy in their mouth, and they still suck at life. And what frustrates me so much about this is non-MAGA white folks, Democrats, liberals, leftists, everybody on the left who does not support that man who is white, y'all refuse to see your brethren for whom the fuck they really are. And because y'all are in such denial about these folks, you will never do the work and take the proper actions needed to deal with them. In the same way that your forefathers slapped the Confederate treasonists on the wrist instead of properly punishing them the way treasonists are supposed to be punished, hint, hint, wink, wink, y'all continue to make excuses for their great, great, great grandchildren who are now MAGA Republican. And black people, especially black women, the 92%, we be telling y'all over and over and over again about your brethren, and you refuse to listen to us. No, they're not that bad. We need to change their hearts and minds. They're just uninformed. They're just stupid. If we can just inform them and let them know they're just naive. No, they are cruel. And the cruelty is the point. They are people who recognize the zero-sum game that is white supremacy in this country. And they are people who recognize that without white supremacy, they would be even worse off than where they are today. And until non-MAGA white people wake up and acknowledge that truth, them motherfuckers are gonna destroy this whole country.
They're going to destroy everything. And they're doing it now. They're okay. They are okay with everything being destroyed if black and brown people do not have a piece of it. And speaking of express yourself, I'm expressing myself right now on a little rant before I do the good news, bad news thing. On a rant. I've had my TikTok account since 2015. Okay? I've got thousands of videos. I've got thousands of followers, and I've never had really any issues. Occasional, flag comments or whatever. Never had any issues until the big fight between the white oligarchs over here wanting control of TikTok. I never had a problem with my TikTok, a real big problem with my TikTok when China owned it. Okay? But as soon as they shut down TikTok and then they brought it back, I woke up a couple of days ago. I've been emailing for a couple of days now, trying to get my TikTok back. Although I haven't been active on there, I'm still on there because I have a lot of foreign accounts that I follow, foreign friends I talk to. All of my thousands of videos, like I said, I put in a lot of time and effort. I've got over 15,000 followers on there. And it's still my TikTok, whether I used it or not. I still did, watch videos and stuff. It's gone. I woke up, it's gone. Somehow, some way, someone from another state got to hack my account and it's gone. So I've been emailing with these people and they keep sending me these emails like, go into your account to fill out a ticket. So I guess it's AI emails they're sending me. But as soon as the white men got a hold of it, it went raggedy. They mess up everything. These white rich billionaires mess up everything. Always. I had no problems with China owned it.
Like I said, it's either going to be the white man's government or it will become the land of the Negro man's cemetery.
It is just so
and that's
annoying.
Where we're going.
These white men they are exposing themselves to how mediocre they are, so they're trying to take everything by force. So I'll say it again. Yes, I'm expressing myself because that's the whole point of this show, and I'm very angry about it, that the U.S. billionaire oligarchs are trash. I had no problems with my TikTok when China owned it. And I'm not propping China up because they have problems with their government too, but I'm making a point. I had no problems with China owned it. But as soon as these white men got a hold of it, they messed it up and destroyed it. That's my point. And that actually is a segue into this good news, bad news. So I was just going to show a clip, a picture here. It's kind of good news, bad news. Tesla stocks going down, 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 down. SpaceX, I actually made a post saying his stocks are going down, like his starships are exploding or something like that, all over the Caribbean, all over Florida, crashing and burning.
So, yeah, that, for those people who need something to make them feel good about what's going on, and to help them, feel that Alon is being erased from this picture. What I have to say about this is, let me tell you, I did not know until yesterday that the Doge boys were actually being paid a crapola of money in salary to do what they're doing, while we fire some GS1s, 2s, 3s, 4s who were excited to become government employees. I could care less about Elon and his little space effort, because he is not going to lose not one penny. The monies that they take from my little GS1, 2, 3, 4 sisters who may have 2, 3 children and finally be able to say, Mama got a real job, Mama working for the government, and Mama got health insurance, and Mama got a salary that comes every 2 weeks. Let me tell you, Elon Musk is going to take everything from everybody, and he is not going to lose a penny. So his little space effort thing, it's just a multi-billionaire man who's bored.
Vanity project.
And that's just something for him. It's just a vanity project, something for him to do until he dream up the next thing. So as far as I am concerned, I don't care about his effort exploding in outer space, except that it's just messing up the climate, it's just messing up the environment, and it's just causing it to be more difficult for my brothers and sisters in marginalized communities to get some clean air. What I want is, I want all of his stocks to tank. It's not going to do anything because he's still going to come out on top. But I just want to see him tank. I want to wake up one day and the stock market says his stock is worth minus 0.000. It might jump back up 2 days later.
Right. That's the only reason I showed that picture, because that was just like a glimmer of good news, like a visual. Although the fact that he's lost $100 billion over the last month, but still the wealthiest person on earth and financially unharmed in the slightest, that is ridiculous. That is that's immoral. It's disgusting. Billionaires need to be taxed out. Billionaires should not exist. Trillionaires should not exist. None of that should exist. None of it.
And that's what Al Green's standing up, waving his cane was all about. How can you, Speaker of the House, bring home to your family $223,000, and down the road, because you're in District 3, and down the road in District 4, those people are bringing home $23 in food stamps, $23 a month in food stamps, and about a little lower than $500 a month in SSI, when the average amount of SSI per month is $628.83. He needs to be, instead of talking about proper decorum, he needs to issue an executive order to make sure every single person who's making peanuts on SSI through no fault of their own can get at least $628.83. And actually, the maximum amount of SSI is $967. He needs to be taking his little lily white fingers and writing some executive orders for the president to sign off on. And if it's a couple, they should be getting at least $1,322.16 instead of him running down behind the president, talking about, what else do you want me to do, Mr. Boss Man? Oh, you want me to take away the SNAP and the Medicaid and the SSI in Louisiana, where he lives. The 25th percentile is at about $38,000. Well, if you are getting about $500 a month, that's about $6,000. That's less. That's less than 20%. It's less than 10% almost of whatever that 25th percentile is. I am angry at every single person who said that Al Green, Congressman Green, standing up was nothing but a joke, nothing but time, nothing but a circus show. I am angry about that. And we as Black people all need to call that man's office on Monday morning. Sorry, don't have the phone number, just thought about this. We need to, all of us, call his office on Monday and tell him he totally rocks, and we lift him up.
I'll find his number and I'll put it in the description so you guys can call him and leave him encouraging words. And well, I'll do that. And we're going to end on that. And don't forget to thumbs up the video. That helps a lot. Haters, we love you too. Go ahead and keep leaving us comments, driving traffic to the videos. That's what they teach us in Buddhism, right? We're supposed to be compassionate to everybody.
That's right.
I'm working on that.
And haters, take the challenge. $23 a month. I want you to live on it for a year. Haters, $23 a month. I don't care what you do with it. You want to go to McDonald's, you want to go to the grocery store, you want to think you can take yourself out to dinner. I don't care. And then I want you to live on $500 a month. I don't care what you do. Pay your mortgage. If you can't pay your mortgage, that's on you. Pay your rent. You can't pay your rent. That's on you. $500 a month and $23 in SNAP benefits. And if you cannot do that, then you do not deserve to be a hater.
Express yourself. Hashtag express yourself. This is going to be a new segment we're working on for the weekends to sum up the week and let us know how you feel. Thumbs up the video, share, comment, leave us a voicemail. Please support us with the donation. Become a VIP member. We give perks, extra perks. You get merch when you become a VIP member. And we have one-time donations, Cash App. Help us meet our goal at GoFundMe. And we appreciate you all, even the haters. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one.
$23 a month, haters. $23 a month.
Thank you.